Alright. Let's see. Where is Twitch? Twitch. Twitch. Stream. Stream work? Game audio's working. Yeah, Twitch ad. Bugger off. Load of fun. I don't like you. Not in F1 anymore. Go away. Double check the audio. Yeah, it's working as it should. Good. Go away, voice chat. After all this time, they still haven't got rid of that prompt. Quite literally
well, they never
useless.
will. They never will. We know that.
Yeah, that's a fair enough point. That's a fair enough point. Oh. I think this should be everyone, though. I don't think we're expecting any more than 15 for tonight, which is a bit of a shame, but unsurprising. After a week break, attendance tends to collapse a little bit. Hopefully we'll pick up later. Three reserves in for tonight. What I could tell. There's a ready up signal given. So only one reserve. Okay. Interesting. Timer at 0, start up the intro as per normal. Now the spiel goes. We can get on with the show. Hello everyone and welcome to round 10 of the Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your lead commentator for this event, and tonight we'll be competing at Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez for the Mexican Grand Prix. Constructed in 1959, Mexico City first hosted a Formula One Grand Prix all the way back in 1962, and periodically held Grand Prix all the way up to 1992. The circuit would disappear from the calendar, and it would take over 2 decades for it to return in 2015 with an updated design. The modern circuit measures up at 4.30 kilometers. It consists of 17 corners and 3 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turn 1, Turn 4 and Turn 12. The circuit features long straights, high-speed sweepers and tight, twisty technical sections. As a result, a car's setup needs to be well balanced to accommodate the wide variety of features. Most noteworthy of which is the high-speed S's formed by Turn 7 through 11. It's without a doubt one of the toughest S sections in the world of Formula One, and will prove to be the main hotspot for track limit warnings during qualifying and in the race. Hopefully with this in mind, qualifying will be extremely competitive once again, but before we focus on qualifying, there is a little bit of news to go through first from the previous race in Hungary. Now, there were a couple of incident reports sent out, but from what I can tell, there hasn't been any work done on them, so I have no idea if there are going to be penalties delivered post-race, whatnot. For all I know, the results have remained completely unchanged after that race at Hungaroring. Jack Humphreys leads the championship. He's on 240 points, followed by CZK on 165. 75 points separating the top two. It's an awfully big gap, but we've still got a long way to go in this championship season. Ryan Bell is P3, but I do believe he is absent for today's race. He's P3 on 134 points, just 12 in front of Big Al, who's on 122. Potsy as well on 122 points. He's here for today's race. He's known as LOL. That's great for us. In the Teams Championship, Mercedes are leading on 278 points. It's a tighter battle in the Teams Championship as McLaren are in P2 on 223. So that is 55 points separating them in the Teams Championship. Alfa Romeo are next on 209, followed by Alpine on 181, then Williams on 170. That's pretty much it in terms of news. I can now introduce my co-commentator for tonight, who is once again KD1997. KD, an interesting racetrack, Hermanos Rodríguez. A lot to it for such a small layout. What are your thoughts about this Mexico City circuit?
Well, Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez, well, I don't know. I'm not the really biggest fan of it, if I'm totally fair. It has some technical sections, of course, with it being the S section of the middle sector, of course. Can be quite tricky. I don't like the curves, so it's easy to bottom out if you use too much. Then, of course, your favorite section. The same section, of course, is the most irrelevant part of the racetrack, which I actually do agree with you on those past remarks. But yeah, I don't know. There's some areas that can have some good overtaking, but it's a ridiculously OP overtaking. More particularly the main straight and the second DRS straight, as we've seen in previous times. The DRS is extremely powerful around here.
Yeah, it's actually stupidly broken how powerful it is. Down that main straightaway alone, compared to someone who doesn't have DRS, you can gain upwards of half a second down that straight. It is actually ridiculous. To pile on top of that, there is no DRS detection zone after that point to the next DRS zone heading towards turn 4. So you can pass into turn 1 and then you get a bonus bout of DRS heading towards turn 4. Now that's because of a real life property of this circuit. It's the tallest Grand Prix of the year. It sits 2.2 kilometers above sea level, so air is incredibly thin here. So there's not a lot of drag that the cars develop, even with incredibly tall wings. So the DRS zones are naturally massive to try and boost the effects of DRS with the very thin air. But here in the world of Codemasters, that atmospheric condition isn't replicated. So it's the same air thickness, I guess, here as it is at other tracks like Silverstone or Monza or Spa. So yeah, DRS is properly busted around this circuit and is going to play a huge factor in today's race. A couple of times have been put down on the board already. Mr. Lol here is on a outlap. Sebastian Spicer on intermediate tyres. Might not look at him. Might keep our eyes on Potsy. No, he's on inters too. My goodness. Everyone's on inters.
I was going to say you can look at Big Mac because he's on the softs.
There we go. That'll do. Give you a tour of this 4.3 kilometre circuit down into turn 1. Easily the best overtaking spot on the circuit. Down to third gear, clips the first apex, heads around turn 2, clips the second apex, and clips the third apex out of turn 3. We'll open DRS and head up towards turn 4. Shifting into top gear, entering at 305 kilometers an hour. Down to third gear for the apex as we head around turn 5 and up towards the hairpin at turn 6. Down to third again, clipping both apexes as we head into the technical middle sector S's. The left of turn 7, the right of turn 8, left of 9, and up towards the small S of turns 10 and 11. Cutting a lot of the track there as you're meant to. You'll open DRS and head towards turn 12. Hard on the brakes. Down to fourth gear. Into the stadium section. Around the hairpin at turn 13. Short shift up to third. Around turn 14, then 15. And now the final two corners. Turn 16 and turn 17 to complete the lap. T-Mac will set a 16.5. Third quickest. 2 places behind his teammate Big Al. Plevy currently P2 as well with a 16.1. So Plevy keeping Al company for the moment. I know Matt likes this racetrack, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he performs quite well here.
That's on the race spec calendar almost every single season we've done.
Pretty much.
So it's obvious. Even though almost not everyone is the biggest fan of it. But that's everyone's opinion, so.
Got Mr. Humphreys on an outlap. A lot of drivers just opting to use a set of inters in the beginning stages of qualifying. It is a tad bit annoying, knowing that these laps really are kind of irrelevant to the greater story of qualifying, but hey, you can do it, and it saves you a set. So why not? I guess. Why not?
I guess. Yeah, I guess, but I'll be fair, I'm not really the biggest fan when drivers do that. I feel like there should be a bit of a rule for it, but that's just me.
I know of at least one league that does do that, and it has caught drivers out because they see top drivers like these do it, so they think it's a good idea too. And then it turns out in their league, yeah, it's a big no-no, and they get walloped with a penalty. So, yeah, always good to read the rules, kids. Otherwise, you might get caught out by them.
If only people knew how to read the rule book, but they don't. So.
Yeah, it's a common league racing trend is that racing drivers don't make the best readers.
No.
I'm no less than that, or no more than that. Rather, I often skim over rules in the rule book. The only time I really grab it out is when I desperately need to grab it out. Humphrey sets a 19.9. Got Apollo Pepsi and CZK on laps. They're on soft tyres, so we'll keep our eyes on these two. 10 minutes to go left in the session. So we've still got a lot of time to get through. Relatively short lap here in Mexico City, so out laps and in laps won't take particularly long, so you can wind the clock down quite significantly if you choose to. One rule that I do know though, because you can do it here, you can't cut the track. If you get pinged for cutting the track, you can get in a decent amount of trouble during out laps and in laps, so don't do that. And you better hope I don't catch you.
Or anybody else catches you for that sort of matter.
That's right.
The yellow flags at sector 2, that's just probably for slow cars.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
CZK entering at 327 kph through the opening sector. Complex. Nice and tidy there for the Malaysian driver. Through the S's goes Apollo Pepsi. Really tough section. For my time competing as a driver, I've always hated that S section so much because it requires you to cut a lot of the racetrack in order to be optimal. But if you go that little bit too far, or if you're quite unlucky and the car bottoms out, there's literally nothing you can do about it. There's no saving it at that point.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, with these cars, with it being more center of gravity, it's more easy to bottom out compared to what we had with the previous version of cars.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, kind of like what I said before. And then, not to mention too, that S section is more of a wheel sort of area because this track is known for being really good for wheel users. On a pad, it's a bit of a mare if I'm totally burdened on that. CZK, top table, 1:15.732. First car to go into the 15 range.
See if any other drivers can respond to that lap time. We got Mr. Stevenson, who was up by a huge chunk. He did his first time on a set of inters. He's now on a set of soft compound tyres, making his way through the final sector, out of the stadium section and around the final two corners of what used to be a very notorious and very demanding corner. Up towards the line, it's going to be a 16.6. He goes, coincidentally, 6th fastest for that lap time. Gregory Przybal, a new reserve driver, doing his first race for Elite Series. Parts of Next Level Racing, I noticed in his clan tag. So, yeah, a driver who I haven't heard of before. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing, to be honest with you, KD. I don't know if I should know this guy, and if I don't, well, pour on me, I guess. Currently doing quite well, making his way through the middle sector, keeping off the curbs, keeping it well within the white lines. It's not the optimized line that you tend to see in league racing. You tend to try and put about half the car off into the insides of the racetrack to try and cut as much as you can. I suppose now, though, with the way that the floor works, you really do have to be careful. As you mentioned before, KD, with the bottoming out, you really do have to be careful. Gregory will cross the line to set a 16.2. That's a very competitive time. Jumps to 4th place.
Yeah, not too bad indeed there. Making his debut as well, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory. Someone else I think has gone up to the top. towards the top. That's ACW with a 15.9. Not too bad. Ooh, contrast of the session.
He'll rejoin as soon as possible. Sebastian Spicer's just recently jumped up. He's moved to 5th place with a 16.043. Big Al making his way through the middle sector, heading up towards the hairpin at turn 6. Down to 3rd gear, getting back on the power. Keeping 2 wheels on the right side of the white line as we head into the S's, 5th gear. Up to 6th. 7th. Very tidy indeed from Mr. Al. Up towards the middle sector split. He's actually down by 0.04 of a second, so less than optimal compared to his PB, but he's still pretty close to it. If he can string together a tidy final sector, this might be able to challenge the top 3 perhaps, as Potsy's P3 with a 15.9. Big Al will improve to P2 with a 15.906. Tell you what, seems that K's got a bit of a cushion, KD, to the rest of the field at the moment. Just a small one. The cushion nonetheless.
Yeah, a 10 to 3 core is a pretty decent sized cushion. Definitely, for sure. But I imagine those times are going to be tumbling a little bit more as we go along to the session. Bags Liddell goes to 5th place. Speaking of a time that did improve, 1:15.9. P5 for now.
4 cars in the 9s at the moment, KD, from 2nd to 5th. Ludicrously tight.
Yeah, separated by 600s from P2 to 5. That's close.
It's been a trope all season. Like, attendance at times has really not been great, but qualifying, several of the sessions I've seen in all 3 tiers that I commentate in have resulted in some really tight and exciting qualifying sessions. I've got to hand it to you, fellas. You've stepped it up a notch in terms of the competitive level.
Yeah, I've been a part of all of those close qualifyings. Unfortunately, I have not got pole yet, which is a bit of a surprise for myself, considering I've had pole in the past, in the previous seasons.
Well, you got a few races left to get to crack a pole position somewhere.
Yeah. I have a feeling I know where I can definitely do it, but I won't say where.
I'll look forward to it. Whoa, Plevy!
Oh, hello! Yeah, I was watching that. I think he bottomed out in the curve and he just tried to save it from what it looked like on my screen.
Well, he did a good job. It looks like his car's still completely intact, so evidently he didn't smash it into a wall. Thank goodness. But yeah, that would have been a scare and a half for Matt. It could have ended in disaster. Him potentially retiring himself out of qualifying when a few drivers behind him are only a 10th or so back. Yeah. He's gone back into pit lane. He's got 3 minutes to get back in, put on another set of tyres and get out. He should have time to do that. It will be a bit tight with the clock towards the end of the session, but he should be okay. Polo taking it nice and easy, sitting at a comfortable 150 kilometers an hour, building up some tyre temp, some brake temp, getting himself ready to send it down the main straightaway here at Hermanos Rodríguez. Nice and steady. He'll switch on the battery soon as Humphreys retires from the session, so Jack's going to start from the back, Kaden.
I guess he wants to have a bit of fun in his own little world, I suppose. Well, best of luck to you, I guess, good sir.
Well, I guess he's leading the championship by 75 points. He can do what he wants at this point.
Supposedly. Yeah. What about... Was this now 6 rounds to go? 7 rounds to go?
I'd have to double check that, but that sounds about right. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's just 5. Just 5, but 2 of them are sprint rounds, so...
Yeah, okay. So, not far off.
Polo making his way through the middle sector, currently P10 with a 16.3. Heading down towards the S is now 6th gear. He'll drop it down to 5th for turn 7. Get back on the power. No lifting through 8 and 9. No lifting through 10 and 11. Absolutely flat. Clock says to the middle sector he's up by 36 thousandths of a second. Oh, that's a new corner at turn 12. He went that wide. Around turn
How about an invalidation?
13 and out to the stadium section. Head around the final 2 corners to complete the lap. I agree, KD. It's amazing how he didn't invalidate the lap.
Yeah. Still improves by 600ths of a second, but doesn't improve to gain a position.
ACW is currently up by 73 thousandths to the first sector. CZK crossing the first sector split line. He's up by 200ths of a second. Now ACW will have trouble. He's got 2 Aston Martins in front of him that will provide traffic. But even... Well, oh, wow!
Oh!
Who was that? Was that Contrast or was that Plevy? It was Contrast.
Contrast. Yeah, he completely blocked him. And from what it looked like, blocked the racing line.
Just...
oh, and another one's blocked him too. Levy's blocked him.
He's bailed out of the lap now.
Okay.
But,
yeah, he's not going to be very happy about that.
No, but that's sort of the risk you take running at this awkward time where you've got a lot of cars trying to sort themselves out. CZK's bailed on his flying lap, so that's the best he can do, is a 15.7. Big Al's heading up towards the first sector split. In order for him to take pole position, he will have to improve by about 2/10. To the first sector, he's already found 800ths. Potsy's making his way through the middle sector, heading around the hairpin at turn 6 and down towards the S's. Bags Liddell has backed off. His session is done. Sebastian Spicer is up by a 10.5 in the first sector. Heading up towards the middle sector split. Spicer, does he improve? The answer is yes. He's up by 2.5 With this kind of improvement, he could potentially challenge for pole position. He needs to string together this final sector though. Out of the stadium section and around the final 2 corners. Gets close to the wall on the outside, up towards the line. It is currently pole position for Spicer. What about Al? He'll cross the line. He'll set a 15.6. He'll beat the AlphaTauri. Potsy's done. He's done a 15.8. Anyone left? Matt Plevy. He's done. What about Eye Contrast? He's down in the middle sector. He's going to complete this lap. He will not improve. He is P13. So that's it. It is qualifying done. It's Al who will start from pole position for this Mexican Grand Prix. Oh yeah, shame ACW, I noticed. The whole stream noticed. So, wasn't particularly great.
Yeah, that was not good. I would suppose there'll be a penalty coming Contrast's way.
Results then from qualifying. Al takes pole position by 89 thousandths of a second to Sebastian Spicer in P2, CZK P3, followed by Potsy in 4th. Prismal starts from 5th on his debut in the Elite Series. ACW P6, Ferrari Pro P7, followed by Liddell, then Matt Plevy. T-Mac will round out the top 10. Then we have Apollo Pepsi, followed by Stevenson. Contrast, Roscoe Humphreys electing to start from the back. Well, he'll have all the fresh soft tyres in the world to play with in the race. See if he uses any of them.
Wonder what the weather will be for this sort of occasion. Oh, well, there you go. Clear. No cloud insight whatsoever here in Mexico.
Not one. So,
oh, I can't see any.
If we are going to get rain, it's going to come late. But as of right now, it's very dry here in Mexico City. Strategies here, KD. It seems to be either medium hard or hard medium for this track. It used to be a circuit where you could pull off a 2-stop, but that doesn't really seem to work anymore.
Yeah, no, I remember in 19 and 20, you were pretty much on point with that. Yeah, it used to be a 2-stop strategy. Really played a big game in that as well. Such a shame we don't really get that, I feel, in this anymore.
Yeah, I agree. It's a big shame, but you know, other tracks have gained 2-stop reputations. Circuits like Qatar and the Hungaroring, you can try and do silly stuff like that.
Oh well, I mean Qatar, I would say that's because of the sprint format. If it wasn't a sprint, it's a 1-stop. I know because I've done 2 different formats. So, yeah. But, yeah, I was surprised that it was a 2-stop for Qatar. It really was.
Certainly threw us around. Not to mention the fuel situation for that race was, well, less than optimal. And it might be something that we have to keep an eye on here in Mexico. It certainly played a big factor in the Elite Series race on Tuesday. So we'll have telemetry up, see who's got low fuel, see who's all good. 15 cars are lined up ready to run. We have 5 red lights. We are underway here in Mexico City. It's a nice start from Al from pole position. Spicer trying to keep up with them heading down towards turn 1. Al covers the inside line. Spicer, he's got Potsy now drawing alongside, looking round the outside, heading into turn 1. Everyone's spreading out, going 2 by 2 through the first corner, 2 by 2 through turn 2. Bit wide there for Potsy off the racetrack, tad bit sideways as well, but he keeps control and he's in second place. Matt Plevy challenging CZK. Going into turn 4.
Oh, Gregory to the outside. Oh, that's close between him and ACW.
Oh,
Bags.
Contact behind for a Ferrari. That would be Ferrari Pro. Getting sideways. Yeah. He's now ghosting through Apollo. They're running up to turn 6.
Yeah, he had a bit of a moment, I guess, battling Bags. It was like, Ferrari McLaren there. Going side by side with McLaren, goes off the road. That's Big Mac. Ferrari Pro keeps the position. But, yeah, that was a bit of action there, but they still at least are pointing in the right direction. Hello there, Humphrey. That's quite hard defending there. I'm noticing there. Trying to defend against eye contrast.
Yeah, that was a big fat no from Humphrey who's there. He didn't want the Aston Martin going down the inside, so he made sure eye contrast got the message. And what a message from Big Al. A very tidy start. 1.2 seconds is the gap as Matt Plevy gets by Prisable for P5.
He's also the only driver on the soft tire, mind you, as well in this entire field.
Yeah, an interesting call. Yeah. I don't know why he's done that. Those tires... Because, yeah, the 2-stop just doesn't really work anymore. Like, if it were, as you said, 19, 20, yeah, absolutely. You want to be on the soft tire because it was so much faster than the mediums and the hards. Like, it was ludicrously faster. But now that difference isn't really as noticeable. Plus, he's buried in 5th. He's going to have a hard time moving forward.
Yeah, so, which is something you have. Yeah, which is something you have to do if you're going to start on the soft tire. You need to pull a gap as best as you possibly can before those tires decide that they've had enough.
Or at least make up as much track position as possible on the tyre and then try and compensate later on, because if you don't gain any positions and you've essentially wasted the soft tyre, you've wasted a whole stint doing nothing. You've got to be proactive on the softer tyre, try and, as you said, build a gap or try and gain track position, and he's currently a bit stuck. Bags Liddell gets by CZK down the main straight. Apollo Pepsi is getting by T-Mac the same way, heading into turn 1.
Excuse me. Oh, sorry, I had a bit of sneeze. Yeah, now DRS is going to be coming to play. Of course, the rear weights won't be opening until they get towards the end of the middle sector. That's why they haven't been opened yet, if you're wondering. There is only 2 DRS detection points. I think Lane might have just pointed that out. Yeah, one DRS detection point where it goes the main straight and towards the ball core. That only works for the main straight and the second DRS straight. That's why I haven't seen them come open yet, but we will see them open now. Spicer is in that 1 second range.
We'll try and chop down the gap. We're going to notice this gap shrink quite considerably. It does kind of depend on the setups on both Popsy's and Spicer's cars. They both might be running low downforce. They both might be running high downforce. But let's say theoretically they've got 2 completely different ideologies when it comes to setup. One's high downforce, one's low downforce. If Potsy has a low downforce setup, he might be able to keep Spicer at bay. At the moment, yeah, look, they're pretty even looking at this. He just gained 4/10 on a straight. That's how stupid it is.
Yeah, and he didn't use a single ounce of his battery either.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, although Potsy does have less. I think that's just because he's trying to keep up with the Big Al. But right now, not really looking too great for him.
Al 29%, Potsy 33, so they're pretty even. And yeah, Spicer, he's a very very calculated and very conservative when it comes to fuel and battery. He tends to be quite good at micromanaging his resources, which allows him to be devastating in long runs because he gives himself resources that he can use to try and attack and defend positions with. See, he's sitting in third, but it's a comfortable third. I don't think ACW will get in a position to try and attack, at least not yet. Spicer now, though, a bit closer. He might go for the move. Kind of depends on the exit here out of the final corner. I reckon he's close enough.
Yeah, he could line up a move here. Back another fast lap. He really is pushing on by banging on these fastest laps.
5 tenths, 4.5, 4 tenths, 3.5, 2 tenths. Yeah, it just tumbles. The amount of time you gain on that straight is honestly ridiculous. Potsy, he'll do himself a huge favour if he got within that 1 second range. It's a lot easier said than done though, trying to hunt down the big man who's leading the way. So, an interesting little dynamic between the top two, keeping an eye on that gap because it is close. Only 1.2 seconds. If Potsy can find a way, he'll close right up to the gearbox of that McLaren in no time at all. But he needs to get within... Oh, that 1 second range. He was sideways there, KD. He was hugely sideways out of turn 9.
Yeah, that was a huge moment, but thankfully he managed to keep the car point in the right direction. Humphreys also, whilst we were looking at this, he's up to 10th now, after getting by Apollo Pepsi at turn 1. So he's moved up a few spots already on the first 5 laps. As I speak of him, Apollo Pepsi gets a penalty. That must have happened in the same section.
Speaketh into existence, KD.
Yes.
Commentator's curse. CZK gets by Gregory. That is for P7. Sebastian having a little look. Just a little one. Down the inside of turn 1. Didn't fully commit to it, and Potsy knew that, so he took the apex. So what's going on back here? Contrast getting 2 for 1, maybe, here through the opening sector. Contrast, Roscoe really awkwardly getting through. Here comes Stevenson.
Stevenson's coming through. Yep. Just braces past like they're a piece of paper.
Yep.
Literally. Yeah. That's insanity. How powerful that DRS can be.
Looking at the tyre situation, Mr. Humphreys here, he's one of 6 drivers who was on the hard compound. The 3-car battle we saw behind was Stevenson, Roscoe, Armanoe, Contrast, they're on the hards as well. CZK and Prisable, they're on the hards too, so that's 6. On the mediums we have 8 on the medium tyres. Humphreys has a little look here on Ferrari Pro. Ferrari Pro saw him coming, opened up the steering a little bit.
He was sideways there at the exit of that corner. I don't know how he didn't put it into the wall. But I imagine Humphreys is going to get him here down the main straight.
Similar story with Spicer and Potsy. So Spicer moves through into P2. Potsy with no DRS, there's really not much he can do. Into turn 1, Humphreys, Ferrari Pro, dueling it out through the opening sector chicane. Gets it through. P9 is his.
Yeah, just like that.
No DRS for Stevenson either. We might have a battle on for 13th. Remember as well, top 15 score points. So this is a genuine battle for points. Roscoe doesn't go for the move.
As long as you finish, you will score points. Basically.
Yep. Seems easy. It's anything but though.
Yeah. It's easier said than done, basically. Let's see, 6 tenths between Spicer and Potsy. Oh, hello. Oh, was that ACW lagging there on my end? Yeah, I think that was.
Not sure. The game didn't really give me an angle to look at those cars. Too busy looking at the final corner with that one.
I could have sworn I saw ACW sideways, and then he just lagged back onto the final turn. Welcome, Posse. That's definitely something genuine.
Now, with that pass, look at that gap now between the top two. 8.5 tenths, 9 tenths. He's going to get DRS again, and he used a bit of his battery too, so he knows that this is an opportunity to get within that 1 second range of Big Al. And he's gotten in there. Now the trick is staying in there through the middle sector S's. T-Mac getting by, Roscoe Arm getting by, so a few changes of position at turn 4. Keep an eye on these two though, our leading duo, Big Al and Potsy.
Yeah, he's not going to get DRS, he's just ticked over a second into the S section. Clover's off a curb as well.
Yeah, notice that for a brief frame, yellow's out,
Yellow
it's Apollo.
Oh, poor fella. He's got a penalty and now he is spun. Ouch.
CZK. Oh, three wide action.
3 wide. Oh, hello. That's Frybro nearly getting to the back of the Alpha.
You don't even see 2 wide action through there. How the hell did they get 3 wide?
Well, Humphreys is got up a couple spots in that process.
To 7th.
Yeah. Hard defending as well. His Bags of Delman moves ahead of Flev, so those tires are definitely have seen their life, I suppose.
They'll be on. Oh, they'll be on the carcass in a few laps' time. They won't be feeling too good, and he's going to tumble down through the order, and there's very, very little he can do about it.
Pretty much. He's got a big old black Mercedes right behind her trumpet. Imagine.
Oh, just riding over the curves. The car's straightened out, just ever so slightly. Do you have to be really careful with these curves?
Oh yeah. Frybro is ghosted through CZK. Right. Okay. That's an interesting way over. Yeah. Yeah. I guess Ferrari have innovated some sort of development in terms of magic tricks in their cars.
How else are they going to win races? I guess through pure pace skip, really.
Well, here comes a 2-for-1 special for Jack Humphreys. 1 and 2. Like that, he moves up into 5th. Matt Plev, he moving up to 6th place, thanks to the aid of DRS.
There's the leaders just in front. Stevenson, he's not far off that leading 4. So, yeah, he's done really quite well for himself. He's in a really strong position. These fellas are all on medium tyres. Humphreys on hards. And he's closing that gap.
Yep. I'm going to guess the hards are switching on for, well, probably for him at least.
I imagine so.
Oh my goodness me! How on earth did you save that there, Humphreys? Sideways in the middle of the S's. Huh. Yeah, that thing was probably something you would quote it as a shopping trolley, because that's what it looked like to me.
Scooting around with a shopping trolley in a shopping centre. Little 8-year-old drifting a shopping trolley. You know what I'm thinking of. I reckon anyone who's a kid with a shopping trolley,
I know
exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep. Of course.
We all did it. No denying it. Running around the
into the
shopping
pits.
centre with a shopping trolley.
Yeah, he's on the medium tire, by the way, CZK. Just pitting there after 10 laps on those tires.
Bags of Dell down the inside of Matt Plevy. That's for P6. Gregory here just hovering behind on those hard tyres. They'll be in decent nick after 10 laps, and definitely better than the mediums and the softs. So, but he's a bit stuck in the middle of this queue. The best thing he can do is just be patient and not get too flustered about the whole situation. You're in a strategically very strong position. Just let the DRS do its thing. Maybe a mistake or two is created by the drivers around you and you can gain positions. But if you're in the middle of the DRS train, you just can't barge your way through. It's just really tough to do that.
Kind of like what I just saw Plevy do just a second ago, going through the turn 12 into the stadium, nearly put into the wall.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, you don't.
DRS wide open on that Williams. Look at that gap shrink all the way down to 3.5 tenths of a second.
And then he'll gain that back up again thanks to another bit of DRS. Bit of a shorter one, but still will close up nonetheless.
Yes, sir. Closing in on the 1/3 mark. Principal gets by Plevy. The two P's change places. One moves up to P7, the other to P8. ACW moves up to P3, overtaking Spicer. Goes down to 4th.
Yep, and Humphreys is now within DRS touch of these two.
It's going to be an interesting little battle, I imagine, between ACW, Spicer and Humphreys. Humphreys will probably try and take the pair of them maybe at turn 1. It kind of depends on how close Humphreys is to Spicer. See what happens here. Around the hairpin. Around the stadium. Around the final 2 corners. Bump!
Oh, he's tagged him! He's tagged him there as he goes into pit lane. That
pull
was
up, pull
awkward.
up, pull up! He didn't pull up.
No, 5 seconds. The 50-mile-an-hour speed limit there, Spicer. How do you manage that?
I don't know. He just did.
Yeah,
LOL has taken the lead! There he is there at the top of the board. Never taken Big L.
He's gonna, well, they'll give him a little troll face at his rear diffuser, I suppose.
He could have been waving to him with DRS. Hello. Mr. I've been leading all race. Well, not anymore. Popsy is out in front. ACW in 3rd, followed by Humphreys. Spice has put on sauce.
What?
Yeah, look.
Yeah, he has. Okay. So he's going for a 2-stop. Well, CZK, I imagine, is doing a 2-stop as well. For how early he pitted from the hards to the mediums. Okay.
Well, from every race I've done, the 2-stop hasn't really been the go-to strategy. 1-stop definitely is better. From what I've gathered, anyway. But who knows? Maybe in this Elite Series race, things are a little bit different, as Big Al's going to try and set up a pass to retake the lead. He'll do so with ease. Here we go. Maybe not. Potsy's hanging on. Inside.
I'll just give him a lull back.
Ooh, there we go. T-Mac's in.
Okay, so one McLaren at the pits. Medium tires at the go from T-Mac. CZK now overtakes, by contrast, for P11. Before turn 1.
The power of DRS can do wonders.
Yep. And so is the grip, because obviously with CZK on fresh mediums and contrast on old hards, he'll pull away significantly.
Yes, he shall. Through the S's go the leaders. Top 4 separated by not much, in all honesty. ACW, he needs to crack into that 1 second range to Popsy. Can't afford to not get DRS, otherwise Humphreys will close right in. Get onto his gearbox. ACW, ooh, I don't know if he got it. I think he should have it. Popsy's coming in.
He definitely does. He definitely does. Yeah, he definitely does. He'll get DRS down the straight. Humphreys will too, obviously, but he won't be close enough to it. I imagine this will be hard for Mr. LOL.
Sauce.
Oh. Yeah, okay, so 2-stop strategies. Right.
Maybe the 2-stop is more viable than I initially thought.
It's funny how we said how it's sad that we don't see that in Mexico since 2020, and now all of a sudden we're seeing two stops being played into factors here.
Well, it's just in Tier 1 Pacific and Americas, the go-to was hard medium. And now we're seeing two stops being done. And by some pretty quick drivers, mind you. So,
yeah.
What, is the two-stop faster? It's just you got to deal with more traffic. And that sort of pushes people away. Yeah. I've got a lot of catching up to do.
I'm just more confused, really, in terms of what you need to necessarily do, I guess. Alright, well, best of luck to anyone doing the two-stop.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
I guess all they can do is just drive car and hope for the best.
Yeah, pretty much. Plebs and Plebs has done 15 laps on those softs. I guess well played to you there, sir.
Yeah, he's gone long. Zach Crichton did something similar on Tuesday in Pacific Tier 1. Strategy didn't quite work out as well as it did in Hungary, but he finished on the podium, so it is possible to do a soft medium here, but yeah, you need to do about 15 or so laps on those tires.
Yeah, just those tires will fade.
Spicer moving through, Potsy closing in, Potsy to the inside, Potsy dives it in, Potsy forces Roscoe a tad bit wide, but all's fair. And he moves up to P8.
Start for lead. Sebastian Spicer in P7, who is also accounted for a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits, which will definitely alter his race.
Yeah, being held up in the pit lane for an extra 5 seconds on his final start will be a bit of a kick in the teeth. But, hey, he did it to himself. Can't really blame anyone else for that, so. Here comes Bags Liddell trying to go for 4th position. Down the inside, heading into turn 1. Not much that Gregory can do about it. He sort of just lets it happen. And Bags, at least for now, moves through into 4th place. High contrast goes into pit lane. Potsy gets it done at turn 1. Moves through into P7. Now has 2.7 seconds of clear air ahead of him to try and catch up to CZK. Bit behind, Stevenson trying to go for a move round the outside. Outbreaks the Ferrari and moves through into 9th. Plevy in front of Ferrari Pro with no DRS, so he can't attack into turn 4. Here's your race leader, Big Al. Led, I think, all but one lap of this race so far. Potsy ended up leading 1. But Big Al, he's been in a dominant position all the way throughout this event so far. But now has a tricky situation of dealing with Humphreys, who's on substantially better hard compound tyres, especially after 17 laps of running.
It's not going for a move yet. Lol sets the fastest. Sorry. Lol sets the fastest lap.
It is funny.
Yeah. You just gotta love it when you see just some silly little names and it's just like, yeah, you just just laughing about that.
Change of position between Roscoe Arm and Stevenson, and Roscoe Arm should be able to pull away just ever so slightly down this following straight. Yeah, Popsy cutting down the margin. Now 1.5 seconds between himself and CZK. There's Gregory and Bags just ahead of them, making their way into the S's. CZK flowing his way through. There is Popsy, there is Spicer just behind. Here are your top 3. Al, Humphreys, ACW. Anyone into pit lane? No.
No, they stay out. I'm guessing Al's gonna try to stretch these mediums until he gets to the softs. is what he's doing. And same story with ACW and Bags, pretty much.
Reckon Humphries is doing the same as he takes the lead into turn 1?
Yep.
Be a bit more doable on the hard tyres. They will last substantially longer compared to the mediums. It's just a matter of timing when to come to pit lane. Do you sacrifice a bit of tyre life on the softs and pit early? Try and get it undercut on your rivals, or do you keep going, making sure you've still got life in your softs heading towards the final few laps of the race? Of course, both areas come with their own level of risk. If you increase the soft stint, there's a chance that you get a puncture. But if you leave it too late, you can lose a lot of track position. On top of that, there's always a chance of a safety car coming out. And if you lost track position and there's a safety car and everyone boxes for fresh tyres, well, you haven't really gained anything. So you got to be careful with what kind of strategies you go with. But a lot of the time you can't foresee these events happening, so you just got to be careful. But you got to stick to a plan. Always the best thing to do. Just stick to what you know. Stick to what you think is best. Make good of it. As Plevy gets by Stevenson.
Yep, that is for 10th. Next part target will be Roscoe. Pot C overtakes CZK. That is for 6th position. That was a matter of time before he would do that.
Well, cars closely bunched together. We got Matt Plevy and Ferrari Pro drag racing towards turn 1. Drag race that Plevy is winning. Here comes Ferrari Pro. Oh, Stevenson close as well.
That was tight. Quite tight, but they get through nonetheless.
No DRS for Roscoe.
Yeah, he's a sitting duck. Red Bull will move through into 11th place.
Here's our top 3 again. Coming towards the end of lap 20. When they cross the line, there'll be 16 laps to go here in Mexico City. When will they blink? When will they pit? And pit onto what? Is the next question. In comes Al. ACW stays out.
Pulls it up. Just a jump there from Big Al. Alright, what tires will you go into? Probably softs, I imagine. Yep, softs. Alright, so he's going to have to do about 15-ish laps on these things?
16.
Or 16. 16. There you go. Comes out right behind Ferrari Pro and Plevs. But he will have the tire advantage, of course, thanks to the softs.
Around the outside goes Ferrari Pro here at turn 1. It's tied between himself and Plevy, but he moves through into 8th place.
Yeah, that was respectful. Good little race in between the two. Ferrari Pro will get another 8 of DRS thanks to the 1 detection zone at the final turn. Keeps the position.
Big Al now has the task of getting by both of these cars. He'll gain a lot of time through the middle sector relative to these two, but you can't pass through the middle sector. You're just stuck here. So he just needs to remain calm, not make a mistake. Ooh, he's getting real close. I'll go for a move.
Yeah, well, he had the momentum at least. Yeah, Plebs just says, yeah, no, just go ahead. I'm not bothering.
I'm fine, you. Move through.
Alright, a few more people coming in. That is Gregory and Bags Liddell and ACW into the pit. Soft tires for ACW. And for Bags. And also for... No, Gregory's on the mediums. I take that. I was going to say softs. No, he's on the mediums.
That's a more traditional strategy, hard mediums. From what I've seen, at least, from other races, as Big Al gets by Ferrari Pro, who is now vulnerable to Matt Plevy. The air's open. Not a hell of a lot of battery for both cars. But Ferrari pretty good down the straights. Matt Plevy having a crack down the inside of the braking zone. Goes round the outside. Cranks a lot of steering in, but can't find a way through. Stays in P7.
Yeah, it was quite tight, but again, respectable racing, at least.
I agree. Been very tidy from a lot of guys out there today. Don't think I've seen a hell of a lot of contact out there. It's good to see. Humphreys going along on these hards. Real long, 23 laps. Well, lap 23 now begins. They've completed 22 laps. Potsy, 8 lap old softs. Yeah, he's not getting those to the end. He has to make another stop.
Yeah, and he needs to get closer to Humphreys once he pits. If he wants a chance of at least trying to maybe battle him at least, I guess. That's what I was looking for. CZK, I think he'll have to pit again. I don't think he... I mean, we did see the Miaros go for quite a distance, but the problem is, like, he's just not going to have the pace at the end. That's the thing. So, I don't know. Let's see, I guess. Lock up there as well.
Close enough? Not quite close enough. A few neato battles here and there, but yeah, the pit stop situation for a number of these drivers is an interesting one. All of these guys having to make one more stop. But they're going to be on fresh rubber, and they're going to be booking it.
Oh yeah, sending it completely. Speaking of something that's going to be a send, here comes the Red Bull and the McLaren. That's Gregory. Oh, that's committed there around the outside, as I just seen. Very nicely done. That was
Liddell follows through too. P10
yeah.
this is.
Yeah, Gregory was just not mucking any longer. It's 5 seconds, and there's the 5 seconds as well. He's serving for speeding the pits a little while ago. Medium tires are ready.
It's a long old wait, waiting for those tires to be taken off and new ones bolted on after a 5-second penalty. It feels like an eternity. The ACW moves through into 4th place. Plevy closing in on his rival. Ferrari Pro Plevy going back and forth all the way throughout this race. Interesting to keep tabs on.
Excuse me.
Your excuse.
Thank you.
Going seriously along on these hards. Does he pit in? Finally.
Yep, he's in. Gap was 5.2 to him and Caesar. Who's coming in as well, so he will follow suit.
Set of mediums are going to be put on Humphrey's car. He's not going for the sauce.
Okay.
Well, that was something that Brock there actually mentioned in the chat. Jack doesn't like finishing on soft tyres, so yeah, that proves to be true. He's not going to finish on the softs, he's going to finish on the mediums. He's basically given himself a license to push as hard as he wants to on those tyres with the amount of laps left. He comes out behind Gregory, so it'll be an interesting climb up the order for at least us watching. Seeing Humphreys making his way up. A few cars to pass to try and get up towards the top 3.
Absolutely. Well, his first target is Gregory in the Red Bull. Gregory is another driver who can make it, at least. Well, not making a mistake though is something you don't necessarily want to do, is it, Mr. Red Bull?
You don't want to get any time penalties, especially when the field is still relatively close.
I'm surprised we haven't had more penalties than just the 3 drivers we have right now.
Yeah, it's quite impressive how well these guys have managed themselves, keeping the cars within the white lines. It's credit to how talented they are. They've got a lot of self-control, a lot of car control, deliberately putting the car within the white lines. And before a tsunami of penalties just pop up on the screen.
Yeah, I just say that just because I know Mexico's noticeably like that with track limits. Well, the not the same between these two. Interesting. Well, Gregory lets him through. Looked like they were communicating, I think, when I was watching their Humphreys on board.
It's driveries wiggling to one another, saying hello to one another. On the outside, Ferrari Pro trying to get it done here at turn 4. Looking down the inside here at 5. Levy runs wide, and Ferrari gets in front. Third place.
Yep. And now there's Humphries to meet and greet these two.
Can't do much through here. Just needs to not hit the car in front. And he doesn't do that.
Nope. Instead, he'll just try to go for the 2-for-1 special. At turn 12, of all places he does that at. Gee whiz, that's committed enough I've ever seen one.
This is going to be a nice move for Gregory. He's pulled it off too. He did that at turn 13, sorry, the hairpin. Getting in front of Matt Plevy, and Bags Liddell follows suit as well. Some opportunistic moves being done. Getting towards the closing stages of the race. Drivers are sending it to try and get every position they can. Gregory can't find his way by Ferrari Pro though. Ferrari Pro hanging on to 4th for now. And there's some nice battles here and there as T-Mac makes his final pit stop. Some serious speed in that Red Bull. Ferrari Pro can't fight that. He's down to 5th.
Red Bull having straight line speed.
What?
Never.
Never.
Never. That's preposterous.
Speed in a DRSO, not a Red Bull. Impossible.
Yeah, it's not the fuel flow, right? It's just the rear wing's just something else.
Yeah, OP DRS versus Ferrari Master Engine. That's a battle I want to see.
Yes, the 2019 engine.
Yes.
Which was, yes, deemed illegal.
Well, it was,
but
yes, it was, but it was good enough for 3 Grand Prix wins, so they'll take it.
Yes, it was. That was the master plan. Oh, I guess.
Get wins, worry about the consequences later.
Yeah. Hey, at least they got the... Oh, hello. That's a screen freeze. I think they're for Ferrari Pro. I knows how far back he was going down that main straight at one point. He was like way in front of Bags, and then all of a sudden he just was like right next to him.
Yeah, not surprising. He is on PS4 hardware, so not terribly surprising as Potsy moves through into 5th.
Yeah, that's a shame though. Well, I say shame just because it sucks for PS4 players, but that they have to deal with that. But something we kind of talked about is like, I think we're kind of moving the phase really, or we should be, but next gen console should be more the dominant console now. Gaming developing should just cater to that.
Eventually Codemasters will get to that point as Potsy moves through into 5th place. Next target will be Prizable in 4th. He's got a bit of catching up to do though, 2.9 seconds. It's a lot of time to try and gain back. Thankfully for Potsy, Gregory doesn't have any DRS down these long straights, so it's an even game. It's going to be whoever's quickest over the course of the next few laps. Decide this little battle between P4 and P5. Potsy's got a lot of work to do. CZK, Ferrari Pro heading down the main straightaway into turn 1. Legend trying to find a way through.
That's a bit of an awkward line.
It was very awkward, but they managed to get it done and not make contact with one another. CZK up to 7th now. Next car ahead of him is Bags Liddell in P6.
We'll see about that dead heat. Right now, Gregory is about 3.5 seconds to Humphries, but he's lost a bit more ground to him. That's also going to be more because he's got DRS to ACW in front of him.
Yeah, the key thing will be how much the soft tyres drop off towards the end of the race. But equally, Gregory's tyres won't be that much better. They won't feel great to race on, but those softs definitely won't be.
Yeah. Those softs are going to be pulling them down a little bit. Alright, here goes Humphries. P2 is
Easy as you like. Power of DRS. It's a nice move. Not really much ACW can do about it. The best he can do is try and follow Jack, but yeah, considering how much fresher Humphries' tyres are and how old ACW's tyres are, yeah, that's pretty doubtful. And look at the gap, it's already 8.5 tenths. So,
yep.
This is Humphries' race to win. He has played himself, well, put himself into a beautiful position. Just went really long on those hards, kept the pace up on those hard tyres too. And then, yeah, on these mediums, there's just nothing his rivals can do. There's nothing.
Yeah, starts from the back and just works his way up, and he's going to potentially win this as long as he keeps the car on the road. And, well, Big Al, you're going to meet your fate in just a few seconds.
Big Al has led the majority of this race, but heading into the most crucial part of the event, he will lose the lead to Humphries, and his likelihood of getting it back is frankly very minimal. Humphries already pulling open a margin, and it's going to increase over the course of the lap. There's nothing else you can say really. Is Humphries is...
Yeah. His pace is just ridiculous.
Yeah, he's put himself in a fantastic position, and he was fast when he needed to be. So
yeah, I mean we pretty much know how quick his pace is throughout the times we've watched him, and it's just proven again what we've been seeing all along.
Now, the race for the win pretty much settled, but these tyres on ours and ACW's car can be very interesting to keep an eye on their relative speed compared to those on the medium, such as Gregory, such as Potsy as well. He's on slightly fresher tyres. He has closed down the gap. It's now 1.8 seconds. So those fresher tyres evidently working well in Potsy's favour, but he's running out of laps. He's got 5 laps to go to try and catch the Red Bull. As soon as he breaks into that 1 second range, though, that gap's going to shrink down to nothing very quickly. Oh, but if Potsy keeps doing that, it's going to take him a while for him to catch up. Can't afford to make those small mistakes. Might give him a time penalty for track limit warnings. You can't afford to get that. Not when there's a chance to fight for a podium.
Yeah, Gregory's in the same boat. He's running out of laps, and he needs to catch up quick if he wants to catch up to ACW.
Yeah, we've got to pay attention to the drop-off point for these soft tyres. At the moment, they're hanging in there. But for how much longer? We know they can do 15 laps. But what is their pace going to be? Is it going to be good enough? See a lot of throttle modulation there from ACW making his way out of the stadium section. So the rears are lighting up very easily. The gap shrunk to 3.1. Gap between these two is shrunken to 1.6, and CZK is going to go for a move. Potsy slots into the slipstream, try and minimise time loss. Not close enough to go for a counter-attack either, so he'll sit in behind CZK.
Yeah. Basically, Gregory kind of needs to pull about a second a lap, really, in this situation. And right now, he hasn't really done that. He's actually lost a bit of that time compared to what we saw at the final turn, where the gap was at 3 seconds. It's now 3.2. He's lost 2.5 tenths. Not ideal at the moment.
There's a penalty situation. There's not many to talk about. CZK, Blake Stevenson, and Apollo Pepsi, they all have 3 seconds next to their name. In terms of the position changes, there's one really big shuffler up the order, and that's Mr. Humphries. ACW from P6, he's moved up to P3. Sebastian Spicer has lost the most out of everyone. Down 8 positions after qualifying a brilliant second, so a seriously less than ideal race for Spicer.
Yeah, plus that 5 seconds just really is what's hurt him. It's just the 5-second penalty.
Sector 3 yellows.
Sector 3.
Ferrari
That's
Pro.
Ferrari Pro. Yep, final corner and Perottata. Ouch.
Through goes Spicer into P8, and we see a position change for 4th. CZK getting in front of Gregory, and behind him now is Potsy. Soft tyres evidently not dropping off as much as I expected them to.
Yeah, I thought they would have done that by now, but I guess kind of being proven a bit wrong in some aspects.
In fairness, CZK's got slightly fresher soft tyres compared to a lot of other runners on the softs.
Yeah.
In fact, the only driver who has fresher soft tyres right now is T-Mac down in 13th position, so I bet CZK is kicking himself about that 3 second though. There might be a real chance for him finishing on the podium, taken away because of the penalty.
Yeah. He's closing a bit more in ACW. In fairness to him, he really is pushing hard.
Giving it everything to try and finish 3rd.
Yeah, at least on track. But, yeah, like you said, penalties is what's going to hurt him. Here comes the Red Bull. Not close enough there for Gregory. Yeah, sorry. Gregory to do anything there.
Tidy run out in turn 3 for the 2 cars in front. Poxy a bit more awkward out of turn 3. Lost time to the top 2. Oh, the 2 in front, not top 2. Oh, and almost goes into the back of Gregory, who goes down the inside of Gregory. Makes contact with the man. Loses a bit more time in the process. Well, he wants to get by.
Yeah. That was close. Close indeed.
Typical Potsy style. If he sees a gap, he's going to go for it. So it wasn't much of a gap, but he went for it.
Yeah, close to a center seal of approval, I suppose.
Almost.
Lock up there from CZK. A little bit of tire smoke coming from the brakes. From his brakes locking up, I should say.
Leaders have now begun the final lap. Humphries has got all the time in the world to just back off and complete this race. He's driven brilliantly. Thoroughly deserves this win. But the battle is still undecided for the final podium spot. ACW is currently holding on to it. Just needs to keep it within the white lines and not make a mistake. I think 3rd should be his.
That is, of course, unless something happens.
That too. Which...
Wait. CZK that's had some map pace. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh!
He got bumped there, the Gregory. Definitely a bump there.
Big old bump there at turn 5. Gee whiz. Like I said, Popsy sees a gap, he goes for it, and to his credit, he backed off. He had to go and realised he couldn't really pull it off, so...
Gregory definitely won't be pleased, that's for sure.
Confetti flies in the stadium section as Humphries makes his way around the final 2 corners. Starting from 15th position, he will win the Mexican Grand Prix from last to first. Big Al home in P2, and it'll be ACW who will finish on the final podium spot in 3rd. Principal in his first race in the Elite Series. Whoa. Well, the game's shuffling him down the order because this game is just broken. But he finishes 4th. In front of CZK, then Potsy, Bags Liddell, Sebastian Spicer, Matt Plevy. It'll be Roscoe Ferrari Pro who rounds out the top 10. As, both of these drivers have left the session as soon as they cross the line. So they're getting shoved down the order because this game is just broken, so we'll fix that up afterwards. So Gregory finished 4th and Ferrari Pro finished 10th, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that's about right.
Race over.
No safety car. Very good to see as well.
Oh, what a surprise. Who would have thought? Yeah, the podium celebrations. Okay. Not much more can be said. Jack Humphries wins the Mexico Grand Prix quite comfortably over Big Al in P2, and ACW finishing on the podium in 3rd. The unofficial results then of the Mexican Grand Prix. Jack Humphries is your race winner, followed by Big Al in P2, and ACW completes the podium places in 3rd. Gregory here, classified 14th, actually finished 4th. In front of CZK, then Potsy, Bags Liddell, Sebastian Spicer, Matt Plevy, and then... was it Roscoe on P9, or was it Ferrari Pro? That was next. I think it was Ferrari Pro. That was next after Plevy. Then Rosquam, T-Mac, Stevenson, iContrast, and Apollo Pepsi. 15 cars started this Grand Prix. 15 finished. Not one retirement, not one safety car. Rarely had yellow flags. Bar one moment for Mr. Ferrari Pro during the race. It really wasn't a hell of a lot of drama, KD.
Nah. Most drivers kept it clean and respectable in a lot of aspects. It was actually pretty good to see. But it was just a race we had. It was a race.
That was a race. See if we can't get ACW in here. See if we can have a chat. Let's have a look. That one. If he doesn't want to have a chat, he doesn't want to have a chat. If he wants to have a chat, he wants to have a chat. But yeah, it was a race. Not a huge amount to it. It had some good driving in it, I'd say. Some decent side-by-side battles. An interesting race in regards to strategy. Keeping an eye on all that. And understanding that the soft tyre, it's got some longevity to it if you drive right. That's the trickiest thing about that. Hello, ACW.
Hello, Lane. Hello, Katie.
Hey, ACW.
Welcome back to the podium, mate. P3. Are you overall satisfied with that result?
I'm pretty happy.
Fair
Not
enough.
too bad of a result.
Especially considering you probably haven't done a hell of a lot of running after your HSC, so...
I still have one more exam.
Oh. What do you got?
Physics on Thursday.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's gonna be tedious then for you.
But no, qualifying P6 at the end of the session. Happy with the lap that you did?
Not really. Got balked on my final run.
Yes. Yes, that wouldn't have been a great sight to see an Aston Martin in the middle of the track.
No. I had like 3/10 of my time because I butchered the stadium chicane. Your favourite part.
Yes.
Okay.
Love that bit. I absolutely love that bit. But, yeah, no, quite unfortunate that, I think it was high contrast in the Aston that balked you. It's a shame he couldn't react quick enough to you arriving on the scene. But, unfortunately, these things happen. But still, recovered well in the race, it seems, to finish on the podium. How were things out there for you?
I had a pretty good race start. I think it was like I jumped 2 positions. Then I was trying to save ERS, but my ERS was just not saving.
Yep, fair enough.
So, and I feel like I probably should have hit 1 lap earlier and stayed with Big Al for the DRS.
Yep.
So, like, that costed me and nearly lost me P3. The guys behind catching up to me at the end.
Foresight's a great thing. I mean, having that little bit of clear
undercut
air
to be that big. It was
yeah,
like
fair
3
enough.
seconds. Big Al jumped me.
Yeah, those fresh soft tyres helped him out a treat, securing that second place finish. But yeah, you don't know until you're out there running with the tyres, with the car. You don't know how much time you're set to lose, and evidently, yeah, just didn't have the foresight of knowing that. So learn from that experience.
Yep.
Apply that next time. But yeah, you did a soft medium strategy. A few of you ended up doing that. Was that the initial plan right off the bat?
I was actually planning to do hard mediums, but then I was looking at Race Direct. Everyone's on mediums. So I was like, okay, I'll do medium soft instead.
Fair
Since
enough.
I saved one from quali.
Fair enough. And how were those soft tyres towards the end of the stint?
Fucking driving on ice.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I mean, the longest stint we saw out there, I think, was Plevs. He did 15 laps on those tyres with a full load of fuel in the car at the beginning of the stint. So, yeah, I imagine they were going to be a bit shaky. What I was quite surprised, though, you didn't lose as much time to those who were on fresher tyres behind. It wasn't until about 2 to go when CZK was hunting you down that you were a bit vulnerable. But ultimately he had 3 seconds next to his name, so even if he got by you, it meant nothing. So, was it a bit nerve-wracking, or were you pretty under control in those final few laps?
I was starting to get worried around lap 32 when he started closing like a second a lap, but then once I got into lap 35 and I was outside the 1 second, I felt pretty safe.
Fair enough.
Looking in the Delta, my straight line speed seemed quicker than most people.
Fair play to you.
Kept
Yeah.
under control.
That's it. And it rewarded you with the 3rd place finish. KD, do you have anything to ask ACW?
I don't think so. It seems like you kind of got it all pointed out, but welcome back though on the podium. It's good to see you as well. See you back on the podium, ACW.
Hopefully I don't lose it this time.
No, you shouldn't really. Of course, we didn't. See
I don't know, were you involved in anything?
No? But I lost the podium in Belgium, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was 2 seasons ago. 3
No, it
seasons
was
ago.
this season.
Really? Was it this season?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. Now I remember. Okay.
But will you be racing with us next week, ACW?
I don't think so.
Ah. Shame, it would be Interlagos would be racing out.
Oh, if I can make it, I'll definitely race.
It's a good racetrack, man. We have a lot of fun times there. But congratulations on finishing on the podium. Welcome back. It's been a while. But no, congratulations on a fine drive. Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations as well to Mr. Big Al, finishing P2. Another solid points haul, another podium. Just falling short to the guy who won the race, who was just on form tonight. I mean, he won Pacific Tier 1, so, you know, I suppose it wasn't really unexpected to see what he was able to do. So congrats, finishing P2. Should pass Ryan Bell, should move up to 3rd in the standings. Don't think you'll pass CZK though. I think he'll hang on to 2nd. And of course, congratulations to our race winner, Mr. Humphreys. Last to 1st, extending championship lead. Perfect round, I guess. Just perfect race. But I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's now time for us to wrap up the stream. I've been Lane Everingham. My co-commentator, as always, is KD1997. Thank you again, KD, for joining me. Your assistance is always appreciated.
Thanks, man. Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you all next week for round 11 of the championship at Autódromo José Carlos Pache for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.